Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long time, but today we're going to do a short little review, a short little talk about this big thing right here. This is the QS18090H. Before I say anything, I'm quite excited to have such a motor. I mean, one reason it'd be obvious the power that this thing can indeed pack. I do only have one problem with my specific motor, and that is, why do they give me these long ass cables? Besides that, the power that this thing can pack is quite ridiculous. So let's talk about those specs. Now QS will tell you, if I remember correctly, this is all off the top of my head, but QS will tell you that this motor can do a 8 kilowatts, aka 8,000 watts continuous, and a peak of up to 20,000 kilowatts. Now, if you know QS motors, you would know that they very underrate their motors. And for them to rate this thing at a peak of 20 kilowatts should let you know that the real rating of this motor has to be ridiculous. So 8 kilowatts continuous, 20 kilowatts peak, or I think 16 max, 20 peak. That's what they proclaim. Spinning speed of 7,000 RPMs. This motor is massive. If I'm correct, I weighed this motor, or it was weighed during shipping, and this motor is like 45 pounds. Now the real ratings, at least from what I've seen someone push up to what, 70 kilowatts with a 84 volt, aka a 24 series. Yeah, 24 series battery. So 84 volts nominal, 100.8 fully charged. 70 kilowatts. I see what seems like an average people use like 50,000 watts on this motor. And looking at the three websites I like to look at, which is AliExpress, where I get the motor, QsMotor.com or QsMotor.com. QsMotor and AliExpress may say the same thing. So for watts, if I'm correct, was 20 kilowatts, 6,000 RPMs, and this is supposedly supposed to be at 72 volts, where QsMotor.com may show something a little different, and that is something like its voltage being recommended at 96 volts, but it has a range, or it can do a range of 72 to 120 volts, and its power ranging from 24 kilowatts and up to a maximum, aka I'm guessing that this is the peak of 32,000 kilowatts, which is still very underrated from what I've seen. Like I told y'all, a lot of the people who have the smaller motors like the QS138, they're pushing somewhere between 16,000 to 35,000 kilowatts, depending on which QS138 they have. So with this motor, you're typically looking at a minimum, where people really push it, 40 kilowatts and up. Like I said, I saw someone do 70 kilowatts. That's what they proclaimed. Their bike was about 10 pounds lighter than my bobber, and man, that thing did 125 miles per hour in 10 seconds. That's all I gotta say about that. The other websites may show some between like, I think 100 Newton meters, 90 to 100 Newton meters maximum of torque. QsMotors.com said between 70 Newton meters to 112 Newton meters of torque. So that's in between 73 to 82 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I could be wrong on this, but let me give you all a good understanding here. If you take a typical like naked bike, a 1000cc naked bike might sit in between 70 to 80 foot-pounds of torque. And like a 6,000cc sports bike that would be about as fast, maybe only like 60 foot-pounds of torque. So I just did some quick research again. A 2023 BMW S1000R is 83 foot-pounds of torque. If I'm correct, I could be completely wrong. I think they're talking about the drivetrain to the wheel. To the wheel. I could be wrong, but I think to the wheel that is 83 foot-pounds of torque. QS Motors is talking about this motor. Now, I could be wrong on that, again, but I'm pretty sure they're talking about this motor. This motor is in between 73 to 82 foot-pounds of torque. So imagine what that is to the wheel. when you gear it however you gear it. You could do very tall gearing and still have like a shit ton of torque. So that's crazy. Now again, because I can be completely wrong, and QS also could be talking about 82 foot-pounds of torque max to the rear wheel, that's still a lot to be matching up with a 1000cc sports bike. That is a lot of power. But now that we get all the spec talk out the way, it's funny because it's kind of like history repeats itself. I've been in this position before where, for much different reasons, I disappeared. But I disappeared. I did a little review, I guess a review like this. Review and talk on the QS 13890H. And that was just a little build up I did until I finally could release the full build of Project SB. My original little blue bobber built off of a DT400 frame. And now we're kind of doing that the same here. It's been a while, I've been gone for a while, once again for a much different reason. Last reason with the QS 138, man, my channel was still all over the place at that time. For the people who are new here, I wasn't always just an e-bike channel. I started doing a lot of e-bike things at the end of 2020. But for nowadays, we're all e-bike over here. But at that time, man, I wasn't fully doing e-bike stuff. I was in the mix of trying to build that project. I had got stuff for that project when we just moved into this house that I'm in now. That was October 2021 when I just got the frame for Project SB. And I just couldn't get the money. It took me so long. And then finally, that time came out 2022. I think it's around summer 2022. Finally got the motor, and then I started finding other ways to make some cash to get the rest of the bike built. And then bam, I showed y'all the build. I did more sneak peeks and all that. And we're kind of here again, except this time around was much different. Just a few months ago, I did get hit by a car. I made a very stupid move. You know, it is what it is. It happened. That didn't mean that I was going to stop there. If anything, as y'all can tell, I'm trying to come back bigger. So, y'all see what we got here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop myself right here. I kind of just wanted to mention that originally I had a little plan to release some sneak peeks that I recorded a long while ago alongside of this review video right here to have a nice build up to let y'all know that I'm coming back with a little something. But then I also came up with the idea of catching a live reaction of a particular somebody in case they kind of liked what I got going on over here. But then I realized if they happen to see my channel and see that I uploaded some sneak peeks, then they'll see what I got going on and I won't be able to catch the reaction, you know, live. And not only that, but because time flew by, certain things are already now done. I've also gotten certain other few things, and those certain few other things are officially being tested. So this really just leads me to say that y'all gonna expect me to upload every week, and I am testing the schedule, so that's either every Saturday or Friday. You know, because the channel's small, I gotta test out what's the best day to upload, time, so I can really be in YouTube's algorithm to get the pace going. But right now, I kinda wanna start off with Saturday, you know, a day where people are off, at least majority of people. Wake up in the morning, watch a quick video while eating breakfast or whatever you got going on. But honestly, I can't wait because I'm trying to come back with something bigger and I'm trying to come back better. And as excited as I am about this, I'm hoping I don't disappoint. But to finally end this video off, I'm gonna just say this. If you thought the last build was something special, just go ahead and stay tuned. And if you thought it was over,
it ain't over, motherfuckers.